Alright, this is the video on how to use the steam collector. I have all the parts arrayed in front of me, and I'm going to collect and condense steam from a hot pot, which is sitting right there. Okay, so let's go through the various parts and how to assemble them, and then how to actually use the steam collector to condense into this sterile blue 50 ml conical tube. It's not sterile, but it should be. Alright, step one, we have to assemble the steam collector device so that we can put the sample collector in it, or that we can collect the extent. So the sterile tube goes in here. So here is the tube, and here's the devices that keep it snapped in. And so the first thing we do is we uncork this tube, put the lid somewhere nice, stick it in there. See how it fits really nicely inside the container, and the funnel is going to sit actually down inside the sterile tube. Okay? So the first thing we do is we stick this device inside the collector apparatus. So this is a handle to keep your hand away from the hot steam as I hold over to condense it. And we actually put this inside so it sits in the steam collector like this. Okay, so you can see the collector and the cage, and it's sitting nicely so it's balanced in there and it won't fall out, and the tube just sits right in. So you can do this really quickly. You can uncork it and pop it in. And I'm making a video, so you're welcome to be annoyed. Alright, so that's that part. Very easy. The next part is to actually sit the funnel in, which we showed you. So this is the metal funnel, and you can see that it's been packed with silicone gel or whatever this crap is. It won't melt, and it keeps the water sitting inside here. So that's the important part. And this just sits right inside, literally inside the metal tube, and you notice that there's a space here for the steam to come out. Okay, so that's the way it's meant. In fact, it should be a little deeper like that. So it should sit in a little bit, but there could be some room for the steam to come out. And the idea is that the water will condense here, run down the channel, and drip down into the tube, into the conical. So it sits right there, and it's packed really close. I'm going to get my steam vent going. So I got to boil the water. And the key to the condensation is to actually have cold water on top, and then the steam comes up through the device this way, comes out here, but some of it condenses on the underside of the metal funnel. And it's the temperature difference between the top, the cold water on the top, and the hot water coming out down on the bottom that causes it to condense and run into the tube. Alright? So you have to change the water frequently because it boils as the steam heats it up. And this is the part where you want to be sterile. So we use the turkey baster here to take the water in and out of the tube, or of the funnel. So here's the cold water on top, and here we just put this in this little ring, plastic ring, to keep the water from sloshing out. It's probably a better way to do this, but this works. Alright. And now we just sit it over the steam, as close to the steam as possible, as close to the source as possible. And it doesn't seem like it should work, but it does. You can see what the trick is already. You see there's steam condensing on the underside. Oops, I shouldn't do that, but I just wanted to show you. underside of the funnel. That's going to run down into the conical tube. So I spilled the water. So the steam's just running up, condensing. And then every now and then I take out this hot water. And replace it with cooler water. Like this. And that keeps, the more you do that, the faster the process. So you want to keep, and the colder the water, the more the temperature differential. So take some nice ice cold water with you, a whole bunch of it, into the field if you can. But any water will do. It just will boil faster, and you'll have to replace it faster if it's hotter. And it heats up pretty fast. The best luck I had, the fastest condensation I had, was when I was directly over the hot steam vent and replaced the water really frequent. That made a huge difference. And this whole thing is sterilizable, everything, and then you can flame sterilize it in the field, no problem. You can take sterile water in if you're really paranoid about contamination. And the sterile tube, of course, the conical tubes, you can just take as many as you want. Okay, this is heating up, so I can replace it again. See it dripping down into the steam, into the tube. You see the steam, it captures, if you're right over the vent and all the steam is coming through, about, we estimated about 13%. And it's nice to have a long stick. I'm really close to the source here. But it's really nice to have a really long tube and to have it pivoted over a rock or some tripod or something. And I think that pretty much demonstrates it. When you're done, move away from the source. Ouch, this is very hot. Whew. And there's some water that's dripped down into the funnel. Okay, I didn't do it for very long, but it did a nice job. And you cap it, and away you go. And we would get quite a bit more than this on the really hot vents, much hotter than the steam that we're boiling. And there you have it.